What is going on, everyone? This is Tom from Two Guys Talking Toys, thinking about renaming this something else, like, I don't know, Toy Ramble, because that's kind of what I'm doing. It's rambling about toys. So today, I have the Lone Coconut Plunderbeaks. I've been looking forward to these. These kind of popped up out of nowhere. Lone Coconut just showed these off at a convention, and next thing we knew, there was no Kickstarter announced. They're just ready to go, which is amazing because it makes you hope that the Plunder Frogs are going to be not too far behind. So let's get into these real quick right away because I am excited for these. We have the Captain Longbill. We have the Berserker Quervo, which I looked up because I like the name. And you replace the Q with a C, it's Cuervo, which is just Spanish for raven or crow, which is neat. And Raider Flynch. I love the box designs on these. Plunderlings has always done a really good job of having just a really fun, really cool looking designs on their boxes. I believe Lone Coconut is an animation company, if I'm not mistaken. So that actually plays a lot into the aesthetic of the box design, of the character designs, because they are very clean, not overly detailed in their design models. And of course, you have the little slits on the side for, I believe, wings. I don't know. Let's crack them open and find out. So one of the things that I would love to give Plunderlings slash Lone Coconut credit for right off the bat is that the creator, Ricky Glusky, is an awesome dude. I got to speak with him briefly during a New York Comic Con, I believe back in like 2022. They are very prevalent on the convention scene, which is nice because it's always cool to be able to get in touch with the creator and chat with him. And he's a very fun gentleman, very easy to talk to, very forthcoming. Well, not that they're hiding anything, but very forthcoming with details. It was cool to get a hold of the Thunderstrong prototype that he had brought with him, but it was nice to get a chance to chat with him and see where they get his ideas for the brand, what he wanted to do with it. So that was pretty neat. It's also kind of fun when they hint at things. There are some they sometimes show up there with prototypes for things that perhaps they are not quite ready to show off. So on occasion, you might get a sneak peek at something that with a wink and a smile. Maybe don't tell anyone about that. Oh yeah, so here are the wings. And if you wanted to take these wings and insert them into the side of the box, you can do that. That is awesome. Forgot to mention that the box that the Plunder Wings came in also comes with this nifty match that has the hunt begins. So you can start off and take a look at that. It also came with a little burlap sack that included a couple of little Plunderling pins. I do not know if these are randomized or if everyone gets the same ones, but these are kind of neat. It's a nice little extra bit of treasure that you get with your purchase. So right off the bat, these look really cool, or I should say, in particular, this guy looks awesome. Captain Longbill, who seems to be the leader of the Plunderbeaks. I I love the wings. These are because it's a interesting approach to the way that wings are handled. I know that we see a lot of this with different toy lines and different characters. And, Mattel has the way that they handle wings for Masters of the Universe, and I know that there was one toy line called Almighty Legends that came out with a Kickstarter a couple of years ago that have Archangel characters that look really interesting, and the way that they are handling their wings is very cool. But this is also a really cool, really well engineered way of handling wings. I'm so used to the kind of the comic book, just the straight up and down with maybe the large sections. Mattel really got us used to that with the Masters of the Universe line with wings, but this is a new way to handle it, and it looks great. You get a lot of expressions out of this. You can do a fan dance, do the full extension. That is really cool, and these feel really solid. No, there's no droop to this. You are not going to have the issue that NECA was having with their gargoyle wings. Oh, gargoyles. That makes me sad. But these do not make me sad because this is fantastic. And I haven't even touched the rest of the figure yet. So let's get into that. Let's take a quick look at the sculpting. Fantastic. I love the pirate the frills on the vest, the slightly cartoonish skull there on the belt. Looks really good. The mouth opens because he is a pelican. Does the tongue move? Ah, the tongue moves. So you can he's got a little articulated tongue action going on there. And the paintwork looks really nice. It's very clean. The combination of colors is really well done. I like the gold on the front of the shoes. It comes around to the back. Very stylish. They've got a couple of ports in case you want to peg them into a stand. No tail. I guess you don't really need a tail for a pelican. Their tails are only they're very small. Like the color work on the wings, it's not overly done. Again, just simple layout. It gives them a very nice, striking silhouette. And I kind of like yeah, just like a regular pelican. Their eyes are black, and you get just a little bit of a hint of light bouncing off there. So it's not a complete and utter void. But again, I really like the way they got the paintwork done on the beak. The gradient looks great. So Captain Longbill comes with some accessories. Sorry, he's so neat. I can't stop fiddling with him. He comes with a pirate hat. It's appropriate. You should put it on the right way. But I guess what way is the right way? According to the box, this is the right way. It comes with a few extra hands, some fists, some grabby to hold on to the sword that he comes with. I will note when he comes with this sword. Be very careful when removing this from the packaging. And I say this because when I was removing the same sword from the Plunder Longs box, this little piece right here, this piece, because of the way that it is held into the packaging, snapped right off. I died. Slid it to the left, pulled, and off it came. It actually doesn't look bad. I don't mind this. I am just sad that it's a little too rough. Yeah, just be aware. This plastic is a little bit more tough, a little bit more. I don't want to say it's brittle. It's not brittle, but it is. You can see right here. It's very thin, so it's not quite have the same tolerance as different types of plastics. So just be aware when you're removing this from the packaging. Be careful. So let's give him his sword, but I was very careful taking out of the package. Interchangeability of the hands remains very good. There's no I didn't feel any concern about popping. I know sometimes this plastic can be because of the way the nubs are. I'd be a little concerned about potential breakage when you're pulling the hands in and out of those sockets, but it felt pretty solid. I'm more concerned about the sword, honestly. But I Managed to pull it off this time and not break it. Show me. But Captain Longbill stands about 4.5 inches tall. Not including the head, maybe about 4 1/4. He's not huge. He's not tiny. He's just right. I kind of wonder what made them decide to go in the direction of birds. It is not a bad thing. It's an interesting direction to go in, and I had kind of hoped for a long time that they were going to add wings to the plunderlings because they look fantastic, and they're like the the modern day gremlins. So having a Gremlins 2 style, Gremlins 2 level of variation to all of them, I wouldn't object to it. Give me all the different types. And this is a very nice next step for, even though they are birds and not full on plunderlings per se. I like this direction that they're going in, where they're fooling around with different types of animals, expanding the lore, and introducing some really new, innovative concepts while they're doing it. But let's get into the articulation on this guy that he has. I love the magnetic cap. That is also one of the features, in case if you were not super familiar with Plunderlings. One of the really cool bits of engineering that went into these is that they have a little magnet built into the head and a magnet built into the accessories, and it just snaps right on and it kind of locks into place. And it is interchangeable with other Plunderling accessories, which is really cool and a lot of fun. So it just adds to the play value. So let's get into his articulation right off the bat. He has a ball socket in the neck as well as a hinge joint, so he can get really good range of motion up and down. So if you wanted to have him flying, if you wanted to pose him up doing some flying, he can almost look straight ahead in that motion, which is awesome. Also can look good far down. That is impressive. Another joint that connects to the body? No, doesn't look like it. So as discovered, the jaw opens. The top beak is a single piece. So this beak and the head part, that is all one piece. But the jaw opens. The tongue, it's on a little hinge. Have him being all bleh. He has a swivel at the shoulder. Got a pretty good range there. You have swivel at the upper bicep there. So you have so you have a hinge at the elbow. No swivel. If there is, I'm not going to chance it. I don't want to chance snapping that elbow joint. You have a hinge at the wrist for full range of motion. And this plugs in. So they are swappable. The first couple of times you do this, it may take a little bit of effort because the pieces are painted individually. So you may have a little bit of paint rub on the actual joint itself to kind of pop it in and off the first time. They have a ab crunch, which is very impressive. It, also, it feels like they have a ball socket up underneath the ab crunch. You can get both the up and down motion as well as the twist. There is also a twist at the waist. When you get to figures that are about the 4 inch mark, being able to load them up with articulation is really impressive to me because you don't have to. And I always want more than 5 points of articulation, but being able to cram in this many, that is that is a feat. So you get a hinge at the eye. It's a little bit restrictive. I kind of wish that there was maybe a little bit of a, a, a longer cut here so that they have a little bit more range of motion because he will not be karate kicking anybody anytime soon. So we have a double joint at the knee, gives you a pretty decent range, which is pretty good considering how large the lower leg is. You get this to go pretty high up here. So double hinge at the knee. Is there a swivel at the lower leg? No, but there is a full swivel on the foot, or on, I'm sorry, the ankle. You get both the hinge as well as rocker joint, which is nice. And we get a hinge on the foot, which I always think is unnecessary. But these actually are stiff enough that if you just leave it locked like this, you're not going to run into an issue with floppiness a la Marvel Legends 2000s. So there we go. So Captain Longbill is right. Oh, I well forgot about the most the most important part, the wings. The wings are sectioned off, and they're just connected with a double barbell ball socket joint. And they, I wonder how long it took them to work out the tolerances on these joints because look, just looking at this at a glance, I would say, oh, that's just going to become a floppy mess. And they are anything else but these attacking the camera. Long bill. These joints are sturdy. And you saw me messing around with them before. They can hold all kinds of really cool poses. I am really impressed with this because like we haven't seen anything like this before. I have not seen anything quite like this in the current toy lines. If you have, comment below and let me know because I'm not too familiar. I know people are still trying a lot of different things, so that's like, again, it's one of the joys of collecting is to see what companies are doing what and how well those things work out. So there we have one Captain Longbill, and now let's get your very angry, possibly very mean cohorts out of here because it seems like these are the yeah, if there are to be villains and heroes in the Plunderlings universe, these seem to be more of the aggressors. So let's get the rest of your crew out here. Raider Flynch, you are next. Plunderlings is one of those series that I both love, but also am annoyed with because they made their box design so nice, and I love throwing. I try and get rid of the boxes because I don't have the kind of real estate to keep all the boxes. I used to have a basement just filled with boxes of boxes, and it was ridiculous. And I've had to move, so that had to get purged. And since that time, I've definitely tried to avoid hanging on to boxes. So whenever I see a box design that is not very interesting or a packaging design that is not very innovative, I'm like, oh, good. I'm not worried about keeping that. But there's you plumberlings for making these fun boxes with the neat looking beaks and the wings that you can attach to the box. It's a lot of fun. So I will not be throwing these boxes out. I don't know where I'm going to keep them, but I will not be throwing them away. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like that he just comes out. There's no there's not a whole bunch of wires holding them in. There aren't a billion twist ties that are preventing you from getting to the figure. He is ready to go. So the Plunderwing himself may not be. Well, I'm sorry, the Plunderbeak himself may not be secured in there, but his wings are. Also, if I've called them Plunder Wings instead of Plunder Beaks, I apologize, but they are Plunder Beaks. Plunder Wing is what I thought that they were going to call these when I first saw the pictures, but that probably sounds too much like Plunderling, so I get them not wanting to have any sort of confusion with that. These are Plunderbeaks, and we have ourselves Plunderbeak Flinch. Let's check the tongue. I don't know why that's so amusing to me. I really like Flinch's color. It kind of reminds me of a parrot, what is it called? The Sun Conure, I think. But it'd be really cool to see this in, of course, some other parrot colors like a blue and gold macaw or the more red colored macaw. That would be really cool. And I know I'm just enjoying this figure being this figure, but I can't help but look forward into all the colors of the rainbow. So just like Captain Longbill, Flitch comes with a few accessories. He has some extra hands, some that are fists, some that are grabby hands to hold on to this cool looking sword that he comes with. Not sure if you can hear it, but it does not want to give up that hand. But at the same time, I don't feel worried about the plastic snapping because it's been very sturdy and it hasn't given me any reason to think that it may pop off or snap. And there are no stress marks after being removed, so that is encouraging. Gives you your sword. Be dangerous flying around with this thing. And I love that he comes with his little cap. We've all got that cousin or nephew that always has this particular type of cap. And again, really nice paintwork on the beak. I really like the way that they got the gradient in there, and the reflection on the eye looks really good. The color choices are really well done. Uh, I think that these color designs for the character really help him stand out. It's a good combination. And he's got the kind of the ironwork steel-toed boots going on there. And I love the full extension of the wings. This is about probably a good 12-inch wingspan. All right, so I'm noticing that as I mess around with these, that the even though the wings are really well made, if you fiddle around with them just a little too much, they will pop out. Not worried about the joints breaking, but they will pop out of place as you're maybe moving them around and articulating them. But once you get them popped back in, the tolerances are actually really good. So just be aware of that. I love that they can do the gargoyles thing. Jalapeno. So this guy strikes me as kind of a goofy minion, and I imagine if they are the villains in the Thunder Frog, Plunder Beak story, that kind of works. Even the headpiece here kind of screams goofy minion. All right, Flinch. We've seen how cool you are. Let's move on to Quervo. And I saved my favorite for last because, of course, I did. And I'm sure based on the colors, you can see exactly why he's my favorite. I am a sucker for the darker color schemes, black repaints, evil twins, the whole nine. And even though I don't think that Quervo is an evil twin, the color scheme kind of gave me that Skywarp impression. And the fact that it's three flying characters, not everyone is the Seekers, but I very much got that Seeker energy from these guys. And I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a whole bunch of repaints. If we started seeing these guys in maybe like some maroon and black, some more stark black and white, some blue and beige, I wouldn't object. I like this a lot. So again, the color work on the face and the beak, really well done. Really love that they got that gradient in there to go from a more of a purple to a little bit of a fuchsia. The beak opens. He's just being very stubborn about it, but the beak does open. There we go. Not as much as the other ones because it's not quite as long, but does the tongue move just a a little bit of motion there. The chest armor, I guess more it's more rope than armor, just rope rounded. Pants there, which probably makes a little bit of a pain to keep those pants up. Same articulation as everybody else, but also really good in detailing foot there. I mean, it looks like it's reuse amongst the three of them, which is fine. And again, leads into that whole seeker appeal. Same thing with the gloved hands. And of course, these amazing wings. These are really cool and allows them to get into some great posing. And the fact that you can just, I love that you can do so much with these. It's a lot of potential. I think the only thing that I kind of wish that these came with would be flight stands because they're birds. So you're gonna want these guys posed to look as though they're flying around, kind of raining chaos down on the unfortunates below. Man, these look so good. So Corvo comes with some extra hands, some for punching, some for holding. Really, really cool helmet with magnet technology fits right on there. And he's got himself a pretty hefty sword, which is not a handheld sword. I again, let me know in the comments if there is a specific name for this type of weapon. I'm sure there is. I just don't know it. But he also comes with, to keep with the rope gimmick, an actual length of rope that has a couple of hooks on it. With the gimmick being hook this onto that. Let's swap out these hands. Actually, you know what? I don't even think he needs. We can just go straight with him using this giant sword on a rope. And that is really cool. A little disturbing, actually. I think to imagine this guy flying in and swinging this around at you. That is very cool. Now, I do wish that he came with two. He came with two of these, so you could have one on each side of the the hooks here. But regardless, that's a minor quibble because the rest of the figure is super duper cool. Can you hold this in his mouth? I wonder if you can hold this in your mouth. That crazy minion who holds the rope in his mouth. Because why not? So one of the things that I noticed on Corvo's back is this little piece here that looks like you can fit some string through it. So I wonder if that's supposed to be a zip line. It's not quite large enough for the actual hook to go into, so I wonder if the actual hook itself is supposed to clamp onto this. So I guess that way you could secure his weapon to his back. So you could do that. And I guess in theory, if that's connected to his back, it makes more sense because that way you can hang on to this weapon. And if he threw it, wouldn't have to worry about it disappearing on him because it'd be connected to his back. So I think the best thing about these guys, aside from the just overall really, really well done design, the color work, is that they display really well together. Like you can see these three dudes flying around, causing havoc, yelling at each other, getting on each other's nerves. And I don't mean to relate everything back to Transformers, but I love the seeker aspect of these guys with Longbill being your Starscream and clearly Corvo being your Skywarp and Flynch being your green and your green, orange, and yellow version of Thundercracker. But seeing these guys in Seeker colors, I would pick those up in a second. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else Lone Coconut has in store for these Plunderbeaks. So let's do a quick size comparison here. So the moment we've all been waiting for, let's see how the Plunderbeaks compare with their original Plunderling cousins. I don't know if they're related. pretty decent size comparison. They're a little, the Plunderbeaks are a little bit larger. They stand a little bit taller. You get them standing completely upright. And the magnet gimmick still works. Let's do a Plunder Long. So they're about, about the same size. You can see the little bit of parts reuse. And that is one of the things that impresses me about the line is the very smart reuse of bits and changing up enough to make it a totally new character. Next to the Drench Gills. And that is what I would love to see. I want to see some clear Plunderbeaks. I think that would be really cool. Some sort of spiritual plague creatures. And your Plunder Strong, who is massive compared to a Plunderbeak and everyone else in the Plunder universe. These guys are massive and awesome. And now I want everyone to have wings. I think the Plunder Strongs would be terrifying and super cool if they had some wings to flap around. Different types. Give us some leathery wings to stick on there. Same thing with the Plunderlings. Well, Plunderlings would look cute. You gave them some little bat wings or some Plunderbeak wings. I think that would be really cool and really fun. Are the heads swappable? Because the Plunderbeaks actually don't come with additional heads. The Plunderlings did, but I got to imagine that these also come off. Maybe I shouldn't press my luck. I was concerned with the. Oh, they come off. Oh my. Oh my goodness. All right, so it's not perfect. The head's a little big because that was the nature of the plunderlings, that their heads are a little large to be that to give that exaggerated kind of goofy look. But it does stay on there. Oh my. This is the whole new world. The whole new world of fun. Am I going to give myself too much credit here? Am I the first one to do this? Someone else has to have done this before me. That's amazing. I love this. That just made this so much more fun. Yeah, the plunderbeak head, the opening for the head there. It's a little too large. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, it's a little too large. It will fit. It will fit on there, and you can pop it on. And you play around with the tolerances. You can get them to look around and be confused because what is happening right now? And Pancho just can't believe it. Pancho can't believe his eyes right now. What is happening? Captain Longbills is not what you signed up for. Well, that was a fun, unexpected surprise. As if you didn't need more reasons to go out and get Plunderbeaks, you can turn them into full-sized Plunderling gargoyles, if that is a thing that you want to do with these figures. And you have little Plunderbeak minions to also run around and do stuff. Oh, that is so much fun. Lone Coconut. Did you know about this? This on purpose? Does this your work? Oh, I love it. So, at the end of the day, should you go out and get yourself some Plunderbeaks? Yes, you absolutely should. I would. I picked all three up because they all looked interesting to me. Quervo is my favorite because, of course, he is. But the other figures, Captain Longbill and Flint, they both look great. The coloration on them is really well done. I love the ingenuity in the wings, the articulation, as always, handled great. Captain Longbill, fantastic. Flinch, also fantastic. And of course, Corvo, my favorite. Love the color scheme. love the way everything that they do. I would run out and get your hands on these right away. You can find these on the Plunderling website. You can just go to the shop and take a look and see if they have them there. If you're looking for some back Plunderlings or some Plunderlongs or some Plunder Strongs, you can find them on Think That Toy Store. I believe Entertainment Earth also has them. You can also find them on bits-buttons.com. They were the company that were participating in the treasure hunt at New York Comic Con a couple of years ago, where you could get a gold plunderling if you found them and showed them your coin. So I hope that they continue doing stuff like that going forward, because that was a lot of fun. I am really enjoying seeing where Lone Coconut takes Plunderlings next. They've been doing a really good job with offering different types over the last couple of years. We got the Fawns not too long ago. We've seen the Plunderlongs appear in that Kickstarter along with the Plunderstrongs, and those have been really cool. We also got Fawn variants of them. I love the clear drench and whatnot. So I really hope that we see some clear versions of the Plunderbeaks. That would be really cool. But these just get me really, really amped for the eventual Plunder Frogs that are going to be coming out. I know that they were supposed to be part of the Kickstarter with the two of sets coming out together, but Lone Coconut doing well enough, I assume they're doing well enough to just produce these instead of relying on the Kickstarter formula. I think is a really encouraging sign. So thank you for watching another review. I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, tell your buddies, and let's fight the YouTube algorithm together. If you want to follow us on Blue Sky, our handle is Two Guys Talking Toys. That is the number two, no G after the talking. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, our handle is 2G Talking Toys. That is the number two, no G after the talking. So until next time, take care, everybody.